Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
All right, welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, baby. Welcome to Friday and the KVJ After the Show podcast.
I mean, it smells like who did it and ran. I mean, the fucking pit's in here.
Yeah. It's a
That's
very
terrible.
stinky show. We had peppers and Limburger cheese and onions and garlic and all kinds of gross stuff.
Mustard.
Yeah.
It is a rough smell in here.
I've got so much mustard in my belly button.
Yee. Yeah, very,
I'm so
very
glad-
stinky show.
I'm very happy that's not how your belly buttons really smell. Because if it really did smell like that, you guys.
You couldn't believe it. I was just sitting there watching, like, oh my gosh, these rancid people.
He couldn't believe it. And he also didn't want to hurt our feelings.
I did it.
Yeah.
I did.
He's like, I'm so sorry,
I
but
want to
but-
you stank.
go all in on Sweet Denny's. Oh man, you fucking smell like a garbage bag, Denny's.
Yeah. We were doing a thing about how your belly button is the perfect receptacle for smells and not good ones, with moisture and dead skin cells and oils and all that kind of stuff.
So did you know I was going to take the bait on that? You
Yeah.
knew I was going to get excited about wanting to be the one that wants to
He
smell.
read you like a book.
Fuck this, man. What the I'm working in Saw, the movie. Fucking head games.
Working in Saul.
He was so excited. He's jazzed.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to smell everybody's belly button.
I'm like, oh, okay, I'll fucking play.
Yeah.
And the whole time it's a joke.
Oh.
I loved it.
But you nailed it. Your sniffer
you
is
did.
back.
It was good.
I wouldn't change a
It
minute
was
of
good.
it. I had great fun doing it.
It was good.
Your long COVID's over.
I feel like my nose is back, baby.
Mm-hmm. And the thing we found out, if you want to find out if your belly button does smell, use a Q-tip. Stick it in there and then sniff the Q-tip, because people were texting us saying, yeah, I didn't realize I did that the other day, and mine reeks.
How do you clean your ears? What do you do to make sure that use a Q-tip?
I do, and I know you're not supposed to.
It's the best thing that works.
Yeah, but every now and then I do. They say your ears should be self-cleaning if you do anything, and I do have where there's a solution you put in there, and it eats away the earwax, and then you gently flush it loose with warmer water. And so I'll do that, if I need to.
But sometimes your ears,
Yeah.
they don't clean themselves completely. Like you'll have wax in the perimeter of your hole. Because I see people all the time walking around with a chunk. And I want to say something like, oh my gosh, you have the biggest, grossest ear booger.
Well, if it's one of us,
nasty.
she will definitely say.
I will.
She
As soon
probably.
as we get on the air.
Oh yeah. You have a booger. You have earwax.
Yeah.
You have plaque. Fuck this.
We got some emails about what was going down last weekend. Crazy Horses where we were last Saturday. No crazy events this weekend, I don't think. But got Katarina, who said, I am an introvert and I love staying at home. The thought of leaving the house unnecessarily kills me and causes a bunch of mental distress. Well, I love you all, and I've only met Kevin and the Queen at Sunfest this year. I mentally prepared to go to Crazy Horse Saloon for a week. I got ready, running an hour late, stressing when I arrived. I saw Panda out front. I freaked, so I rushed past him. I entered the establishment. I almost died. There were people everywhere. My anxiety skyrocketed. I walked around the bar and to the back, and I saw the KVJ corner. I was so happy. I literally got 8 inches from Jaybird's face. It was so crowded. I couldn't handle the people, how crowded it was, the loud music. I turned around and I left without a word.
Aww.
I got into the car. I was deflated. I called my boyfriend, who laughed at me. I wanted to meet all of you. I saw Suits and his secret girlfriend. I tried and failed.
I don't think Suits' girlfriend was there, y'all.
Okay.
Damn, who was Suits kissing?
No, he wouldn't kiss. Don't start that fucking. He was not kissing anybody.
Damn, Suits.
No, there was no scandal. But I believe Suits' girlfriend was not there.
Okay. Well, Katarina, thank you for trying. We'll be out again, and hopefully one of these days.
And don't beat yourself up, because I know sometimes if when things like that happen, you can feel bad. Don't feel bad about it. You tried. You were close.
Yeah,
you were
absolutely.
8 inches
Yeah.
away.
That's a lot of times what it is. You got to take a couple test runs at it, and each time you get a little closer and closer.
And the Crazy Horse is literally the craziest environment to be thrown into with anxiety. Panda has it too. Panda went to the Crazy Horse because I was stuck on my flight. I couldn't get there, so he kind of went in my spot. And he was so overwhelmed, he had to leave.
Yeah,
he rushed out of there and left early because he couldn't handle it either. So don't feel like you're the only one.
Well, I love talking to the people, and even there was times where I was not anxiety, but you get a little overwhelmed. So I
Yes.
can see that might not be the best environment.
It is being thrown to the wolves when you walk into Crazy Horse at a KVJ event. It's wild.
And it's weird sometimes. What if you walk up to Kevin and he's a dick?
No.
No, I'm kidding. He'd never be a dick.
Next-
Or I'm a dick.
Next time you want to come out, send us an email ahead of time and tell us what you're going to be wearing, and then we'll keep an eye out for you. And when we see you, we'll give you special love.
So just know that I'll probably be drinking, and I'm not going to know the details of what you're wearing. Let Virginia do her crazy fucking experiment. Me and Kevin will be there. Just come up and say hi to us.
I will help you. We'll give you a personal, loving escort. Mm-hmm. We'll make you the queen of the bar.
Yeah, and I always say that too. If you ever see us out when we're doing stuff, I try to get out a lot, and I love when people come up and say hi. So
I do too.
Always approach and say hello.
I have a lot of conversations with KVJ Nation at Publix. A lot.
It's lovely.
Every time I'm at Publix, it doesn't matter which one, I run into a KVJ Nationer.
Yeah.
We talk food, we talk snacks. Sometimes we'll talk about the fucking witch. Some of the crazy shit she says.
I like that I'm a topic of your conversation.
I do.
You just can't get me off your mind.
I will get people stopping me about crazy shit the witch has said.
Yeah.
Ilya sent this email. She said, Kevin, I am the guy who bought you the Clase Azul shot.
Ooh.
And then said, well, sometimes you just got to shoot it. So I apologize. I respect your respect of the nectar of the gods, LOL. Yeah, I was in a really tough place because I didn't want to disrespect Ilya because he bought me a shot. He's like, shoot it. I'm like, going, dude, you can't shoot this. It's so good.
You gotta sip it.
I was torn. I didn't want to disrespect Ilya, but I didn't want to disrespect Clase Azul. I felt like I was in a no-win. I had to disrespect someone. But, yeah, it was really good. So thank you for that. That was actually one of the highlights of my weekend, having that shot.
I wonder how much they charge for that shot. It has to be like super pricey.
Well, I think what happened was he had won. They were doing raffles. And so he had won. They raffled off a bottle of Clase Azul.
Oh, he won the whole bottle and then gave you a shot.
Well, that's why I couldn't believe it, because I even said that. I'm like, hey, if you're getting this and if you're not, if you don't respect it, I would understand, sell it. I mean, in fact, I should have told him, turn around, sell it to me. I'll buy it for you, from you. And hey, you can walk away with 100. I mean, you can get that bought anywhere from 120 to 160. I've seen it sold for. So I'm like, somebody would easily, if you sold it for 120, I'd be like, sold.
But good for him. I mean, talk about like keeping the party going.
But he cracked it right open. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So that was definitely a highlight of my weekend. Appreciate that. Jonathan had said, I was listening to the Great 48 on YouTube, where you guys did the benefit for the Bahamas, and there was talk of auctioning off a drinking session with Virginia that was going on. I think Virginia is someone who knows how to have a good time. But how can I have a drinking session with Virginia and Bird? If it helps, I'm also Mexican, and Mexicans are known for handling their alcohol.
Yes, they are.
Well, I'm Italian, and I don't want to speak for all Italians, but this Italian, I don't know if I can handle my liquor that well.
This Italian's known for falling apart.
This is a sloppy Italian.
Yeah.
Fun sloppy, but sloppy nonetheless.
She's messy like a chicken parm with extra sauce.
Okay, motherfucker, I am insulting myself. I don't need backup for it. Furthermore, you're dumb and you're stupid. And don't forget you're fat, too.
Yeah.
She's a sloppy meatball sub.
You have the biggest set of balls to be calling anybody out for any kind of behavior when you put any kind of substance in your system. You're a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, just yesterday we were playing her drunk audio. She forgets all about that.
She's insane, Kevin.
I think I'm awesome.
That is, so did Ted Bundy. The people that, I get
Ted
it.
Bundy.
It makes sense.
I think I wake up, I'm like, I nailed it.
Oh, fuck that. Oh, man. You shut down my birthday party.
Nailed it.
Danielle said, I still think that the Drinking After the Show podcast, it was just Kevin Jaybird and a guest that came on to talk paranormal things, I think it was one where you guys got so hammered you created new names for yourselves. I forget what Jaybird's was, but Kevin had dubbed himself Milo.
That's
Milo.
I had to have given you that name.
What does that mean?
I don't know, man.
The guest guy was actually in recovery.
Oh, not that day.
He passed away. He's such a great.
He passed away?
Yeah, he did. Tim is his name, and he was a great friend of the Weird and Whatever podcast as well, and a very great dude. Friends of Vicky as well.
Yeah, he's
How did
a
he
chill
die?
dude.
Well, let's not. All right. I
Now I'm
I want to give him the
curious.
How
respect.
sad was his family?
Yeah, I just wanted to say rest in peace. He's a great guy.
Yeah, how many people were really crushed?
A
when he
lot.
died?
Oh, you
I
want
heard
to?
his whole family fell apart afterwards.
Wasn't he young?
No,
No, he was old.
you weren't even.
It's Friday. It's too much fun. We're having too much fun.
I know you won't say it, Kevin, but
Yeah.
you can. Tell her to shut the fuck up.
I wasn't here that day. I don't know this
I
guy.
know what a day it was, Kevin.
Daniel said it was the funniest fucking thing I'd heard. I'd spent a significant amount of time searching for it recently with no success. If you guys know of the podcast I'm referring to, could you please repost it or tell me the date where I can find it?
Sweet Denny's does know that because I believe that is our most requested podcast of all time.
Okay. All right. Maybe we can put it back out there for you.
I remember I was belly laughing during that podcast, and at one point, Kevin never leaves his station.
Yeah.
We went on so long for this podcast. Kevin was getting fucking hammered.
Yeah.
He was to go take a piss, and it was
He left
he
during
went
the
to go take a
podcast.
piss.
I did, yeah.
I mean, smashed off of my ass.
we're so
and then
hammered.
Tim is just in here, and I'm like, I forget what the fuck I was saying, but it was. I mean,
We
but
were
it
so
was
wasted.
the greatest of fun, Virginia.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Aw.
that might have been my favorite broadcasting ever.
That was a lot of fun. Let me see here. A couple other things going on yesterday. I know we were talking about Army Hammer being in the Cayman Islands. Apparently, he's already gone. He's not doing the timeshare job anymore.
What?
He's now staying at Robert Downey Jr.'s home.
I know. I saw that. I'm like, wait, what?
He's in Los Angeles. I'm like, what the heck?
Is that who
That
you want to
happened
hitch a ride
fast.
with? Do you want?
Well, you know, I guess maybe looking at this, in a sense, it does make some sense. I guess the reason why Army Hammer was kind of over this way was he was at a Florida rehab facility called the Guest House. I guess he's trying to harness his demons, and Robert Downey Jr. knows all about that, so he's been supporting him through and paying for a lot of his rehab.
Robert Downey Jr. is known to do this, where he sticks up for the person everyone's kind of publicly going against.
Yeah.
He did it with Mel Gibson as well.
Yeah, because he had been there, and he had people that stood up for him and helped dust him off and get him back on his feet.
There's a he's talking about Mel Gibson. Robert Downey Jr. He's at some kind of award show. He goes, look, I had my demons, blah, blah, blah. The man's held the cactus long enough, blah, blah, blah. And everyone's standing and clapping. But Robert Downey Jr. does this for the people that
I
are.
love that. I'm a big
know you
fan
are.
of redemption and of people because, look, I mean, life, we're going to make some mistakes. We're going to do some things we're not going to be very proud of. And to me, it's about where you wind up, you know, not where you are or where you've been. So
Hold the cactus. That gives me a good idea for a game. Hold the cactus, hot potato style. Like to just throw it around the room till you won't grab it anymore. You don't like that?
I just love the hearing the fucking silence and the failure. It's so loud. I love it.
You don't like that game?
Motherfucker, you're such a priss. Why can't you hold no cactus?
yeah, somehow it won't wind up her way.
I wonder who's gonna hold the cactus during that fucking bit.
Oh, look, dumbass got cut.
Oh, look at that fucker. Oh, he's got Cactus Jack over here. Oh, look at Cactus Fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do it on Monday.
Hey, prick, have a prick.
Oh, that's good.
Exactly.
That's exactly how it's going to go.
Oh, I'm
you're,
going
You're going to be
cactus
miserable. You're
shopping.
going to hate it. It's going to be awful.
Yeah.
No one's going to enjoy it except for Virginia. It's going to be terrible. Yeah, so he's in there, I guess, you know, with all the stuff that he'd had, you know, crazy, the cannibalism fantasies and all that kind of stuff. What kind of rehab? Cannibal rehab? They have rehab for cannibals?
So what he's going to claim is that his drugs and alcohol took him to a deep, dark place that he can't believe he went to,
Yeah.
and now you're seeing the beginning stages of trying to piece his image back together.
Okay.
The thing, I think what is damaging for him is that he's got multiple text messages with multiple people with these dark fantasies.
He does,
as they're
yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
that's how they're spinning it, the fantasies.
Well, he was accused of slicing the letter A into one of his young lover's thighs before sucking the blood out of her fresh wound. So it's, that kind of level stuff is where he was. He would tell women they wanted to remove their ribs, barbecue them, and eat them.
What an odd fetish, man.
Yeah.
He was into like rape fantasies and like all kinds of twisted stuff.
Believe it or not, that's more of a common fetish or fantasy for men and women, believe it or not. I'm not trying to be controversial right now. If you look into research, some people get off on the idea or the scenario of it. It is without a doubt listed in the fetish
Right.
world, and it's more common than you think.
So I guess he's in rehab trying to curb those dark thoughts and desires, and
also is trying to get back into the movies.
no doubt. I assume that's probably a lot more fun than selling timeshares in the Caymans.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. His family probably cut him off, so he's probably out of
Yeah.
money.
He's worth $10 million right now.
10 million. Okay, yeah, and I wonder what happened because his father Armand Hammer is dead. His dad had made gazillions.
They made it. The grandfather is the one that made all the money.
Okay.
They're all trust fund babies off the great grandfather or something.
Wow, sucking off that teat, huh?
Yep.
But he's going to do the typical celebrity Hollywood, drugs, alcohol, dark place, I'm rebuilding,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. This is an interesting story. Kind of jumped out too. Elon Musk loves having lots of babies. That's kind of his whole thing is about procreating, spreading his seed. That's what men do. And apparently that whole ideal came from his 76-year-old father.
His father probably put it in his head and raised him to think that way.
Because there's a story about his dad now, and his dad was quoted saying exactly what his son Elon says about spreading his seed, but Elon apparently doesn't like how his dad does it because his dad does it in a way that's a little awkward. His dad has now revealed that he had a second unplanned child with his own stepdaughter, who is Elon's stepsister.
What?
Yeah.
He knocked up his stepdaughter?
He knocked up his stepdaughter.
Twice?
Yeah, so apparently Elon is not happy with this and went berserk when he found out that his father had had a child with his stepsister. So they're a little bit on the outs right now. But his dad's like, my son, I told you, I'm here to spread my seed.
Procreate with everybody.
If it's my stepdaughter, it's my stepdaughter. So they got some twisted stuff going on there as well. So, well, I got a few other emails going on here. Joe had gone up to Disney Springs to check out the new Cirque du Soleil. He said tickets alone were $340.
Holy moly.
So I took my girlfriend, and the whole day cost us over $700 with food, drinks, gas, and tolls. We get home, she has a stomach ache. I get nothing for the $700, if you know what I'm saying. He says I no longer see her. How about that? So it went nowhere. I didn't realize Cirque du Soleil was that expensive.
Do you like that shit?
It's not where I would choose to put my entertainment money.
What is it again? I sort of know what it is.
It's a French circus that focuses on acrobatics, and it is beautiful, but it's about $30 to me. Anything more than $30, and I probably wouldn't pay.
It's a $30 ticket to you at
to
the
me,
most.
but people pay so much. I have a friend who went to go see him over in Sarasota when they were doing Cirque du Soleil. He paid $500 for a front row ticket to the Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
And he was at the one where the person was flipping in the air and fell on the ground and died.
There it is.
Yeah, there we go.
Weekend,
All right,
baby.
thanks. Yeah.
Woo! Let's crack open some beers, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Woo!
Died right in front of him for $500.
He's probably twitching too. He did that weird.
They
you
didn't
know.
offer no refunds either.
Good
They shut the show down and ushered everybody out.
Good amount of blood?
I would assume.
Okay, all right, good.
I didn't ask about the blood level.
brains like everywhere.
When I say good, I mean good. Let's get this all over your system.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to crack open a beer and not go to
No, we
negative
keep
town.
getting this side detour.
Is it all out?
As soon as like the depression from the last comment kind of fades off, then
I feel
gotta
like
get hit with another one.
I feel like you're getting it all out. So good, get it all out now.
Yeah, can we go any more dark? Let's
I don't know. I mean, you brought up Cirque du Soleil. It's my story.
I can't mention anything, Bird.
I mean-
she's got. It's kind of like it's a challenge for Virginia. You can mention anything, and she's going to find something dark and sad.
That's the new game.
Yeah.
You bring
Yeah.
up a story, she
Whatever
don't
I
find
got,
that.
she's going to be like, well, and then
One time.
one time.
Fucking A, man. You can see her. She gets excited about it.
She
I
does.
see
She
her
can't wait.
Her body gets.
She can't wait because we're having a good time.
Yes.
Everyone's laughing. The mood is light. It's all good.
You
and
can't
nope.
see her as much as I can. Her body starts to do this, I'm gonna fucking depress everybody now, Cam.
Yeah, lots of details, goriness.
Detail.
Yeah.
Loves depressing detail.
Oh, so depressing, yeah. And he was twitching. His eyeballs were coming out of his head. It's terrible. And his child was sitting there watching it all, saying, Daddy, don't die.
That would be next level.
I was just waiting for that. I'm like, what's the next part of this? Daddy, don't die. Well, yeah, this is a good idea. We should have a trigger warning on this show. Pamela said, note on trigger warnings. We were talking about that the other day because there was, I don't know, a faction of people that had gone to see the new Thor movie last weekend, and they were upset because they were not warned that there was a scene about chemotherapy. And I guess anybody who had ever been through it or had a family member that had been through it or anyone who spelled the word chemotherapy, they were upset when they saw the scene and they weren't expecting it. They said, you need to let us know. But then we started talking about, okay, well, you go through a movie and there's a lot of things that, may come your way. What are you going to do, spoil the whole movie? And be like, hey, by the way.
There's a car accident.
Yeah, Goose is going to get launched into the cockpit and die. Get ready. There's going to be a dead body floating in the ocean.
If you're afraid of buildings, like Jaybird, be careful. There's buildings
Trigger
in
warning,
here.
yes. Right.
I was noticing people getting mad about the trigger warning. So technically, there should be a trigger warning about the
They were
trigger
going to give
warning.
me trigger warnings. It's gotten so insane.
That's
now.
how
Yeah.
it's going to always be.
That's where I said, yeah, we have to somewhere along the lines draw the line and stop the insanity. It says, yeah, a note on these ridiculous trigger warnings. It's honestly getting so out of hand. As somebody who has been going through infertility for over 7 years, I'm part of a few online groups that discuss treatments and share stories. It's unfortunately a very large community. So last week, there was a big celebration that a bunch of the more prominent women in the infertility community complained to the Peloton CEO and made them add a pregnancy trigger warning on classes that include a pregnant instructor or a pregnancy announcement. How crazy is that? Because you're trying to get pregnant and you can't even see a pregnant instructor without having a PTSD moment. I completely disagree. I do not support any of this. Where do we draw the line?
Well, I honestly, I kind of get where some people are coming from at times, but in my personal opinion, I don't think it's always a bad thing for you to get triggered in life. It's okay if you see something and you're uncomfortable and it scares you and it makes you have a flashback. That is okay to go through.
That's called life.
That's called being a human being. You're never going
No,
to...
can't get away from it.
And it also, if you run from being triggered all the time, you're going to start getting soft. It's a fucking cold world out there.
It's better. You're better off learning how to deal with these moments and adapt and say, okay, when I see that, here's what I'm going to tell myself. Here's how I'm going to handle it. Because you're right. It prepares you for life. You can never be in the place where you're going to be in a padded room like a Fabergé egg and we're going to keep you from everything. That's just unfortunately being alive on planet Earth.
People treat triggering like this thing we have to eradicate. I don't know if we should. As
No,
a
you should not.
species,
We're going in the wrong
You should
direction.
be triggered a little bit about shit.
Yeah, we're going in the wrong direction with that. We need to start teaching people, hey, here's how you adapt with that. Here's how you strengthen yourself and your mental wherewithal rather than instead putting padding around it. Because you're right, it's like a muscle. When you exercise it, it gets stronger. When you don't, it becomes weaker and you become a weaker individual.
I usually learn things when my feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
Or when I'm, you know what I mean?
If you talk about the things that trigger you, you can also figure out ways to deal with it when they do present themselves. But if you hide from it and want to be in a shell that's protected, it's not the real world.
No,
you
it's
can
not.
never be protected from all the things that are going to trigger you. So instead, figure out what your coping mechanisms are going to be when you are triggered. Talk about that instead
Humans.
of going after Peloton for having pregnant instructors. What?
Fucking humans, man. We are quite the species at times, I tell you. We're such hypocrites.
Well, you're just a little bitch.
When we contradict ourselves about everything. It's so funny. People are now getting triggered by the trigger, which I get because I'm one of those people where
It's crazy, right?
it's like
I'm triggered by this trigger.
it is. It's fucking annoying.
It's so annoying.
It is going to be a hot next week. Looks like temperatures will be down a little bit this weekend because I think we're going to be seeing some rain, so that might be lowering them. But they say Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to be around the 93, 94 degree mark. We're about 3 to 4 degrees higher than normal, so it's crazy hot, so be aware. And I think it's going to be pretty sunny on those days as well, so not a lot of relief from the sun. But we were talking about ways to stay cool, and never even thought about this, but being a mail carrier, crazy. Here's one in Stewart that says, to keep cool, I bring 5 bottles of water and 2 frozen bottles with me daily. The frozen ones I used to cool myself off, putting it on my neck and forehead and such, while drinking all the water through my 8-hour shift. It gets about 120 to 125 degrees inside the mail truck. We don't have any AC. We just have a metal box that we drive in with a small fan.
That is ridiculous.
And all it's doing is just blowing the hot air to give us a breeze. Yeah, I remember that because I had a car without air conditioning when I lived in Fresno, California. And then they'll typically anywhere from 107 to 115. They'd be like, well, it's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat.
It still feels like hell. And so as you're driving, if you've ever put the hairdryer on as hot as it goes and you just blow it straight in your face, that's what it felt like driving in my car.
That had to have made you in a really bad mood on the reg, being in that kind of situation, that kind of car, that heat.
It was tough, yeah. It was tough.
I had that Hulk Hogan car I talked about. It was like a station wagon. I had the sticker on there, and there was some major gas problems, and you could smell the gasoline leaking from it, and the air went out. So we drove it across the state, and you were high from the gas.
Right.
And it wasn't a good high. It was that high you felt like you were growing hair from your teeth.
Sounds like a death trap.
It was awful. I should not have been driving it.
Yeah.
When I was in Kentucky, they had emergency heat. It was like in the 90s here, but it was 100 there. And when you walk outside, you feel like you're in an oven. Like how you feel when you open the oven to get your pizza and that wall of heat hits you. That's what I felt like walking out of my dad's house. It was so much hotter in Kentucky than it was here in Florida that same week.
Okay.
It was weird.
Yeah. No, it is. The temperatures are just off the charts, and somehow we're luckier. It's weird.
We are.
Yeah.
It was 10 degrees cooler here in South Florida in the Sunshine State.
Right.
It was freaking me out.
I guess maybe it's the ocean is regulating.
What would be a better heat to make love in, Kentucky heat or Florida warmth?
I mean, what I felt that week, I'd pick Florida because it was ridiculous there. It was awful.
Well, we get breezes here. Just even if you go to Orlando and you realize they don't have the same kind of breeze, it's a different kind of hot. And we are very fortunate being on the coast. That does help out a lot. And they go on to say that remember what we have to go through when we deliver a package. And what we love is we go to a door and they got water sitting inside a bin on the front door with a note saying thank you and take a drink.
Aww.
It keeps us hydrated even more. Yeah, Mexican Queen was doing that. It's kind of like in the era where we had all the packages that were coming up, during the pandemic.
Yeah.
She even put a whole shelf out there with snacks.
Aww.
And the only thing was, all the Amazon people were coming up and the mail carriers and whatnot, and they weren't ever really taking anything. The only people that really loved it were the fucking raccoons, and they're eating the shit out of it. We had a raccoon party going on at the front. We'd open it, hey, what's going on? It was like a raccoon nightclub.
Raccoons prospered during COVID.
Yeah. And so,
across the globe.
Raccoon nightclub.
Yeah, we were pleasing the wrong people, so we had to shut that down. But I'll let her know. Maybe she'll put those cold waters back out there.
We've talked about it before. I'd never seen it, and I guess it's been around forever, but it's in the neighborhood I'm at Palm Beach Gardens. I told you how there's this house, and they have their own little library where you can get booked from this regular house, and I guess they do that with food too in neighborhoods where you can just drive around and there's a snack bin at certain houses, and it's for anybody that drives by. I've yet to see a snack one, but
neighborhood pantry, yeah,
that's
they've
cool.
got them. That's a real thing.
I've never seen a neighborhood pantry, but the book thing I thought was kind of cool too.
They've got a lot of those in New Orleans. The book thing and the pantry thing with food.
Of course, they don't have that bullshit.
Of course, they wouldn't put up with that because it's too fancy. They would say, "Ugh, we don't want that's littering our streets."
I don't think the Quest would put up with raccoons.
They'd probably shoot him
Wow, jeez, man.
with a silencer.
Fuck, there she goes.
Yeah, at least it's a silencer though.
Oh, you gotta be quiet in Cuesta, Kev. That's
The
what
only
I hate
things you
Virginia.
hear are the raccoon screams.
Why do you think they hate Whispers Sanicki over here? Because they like it quiet.
Yeah.
And Mama likes to get turned. She does the one hell of a Tequesta party.
I was by myself the other day drinking, and it was a storm.
Sounds depressing.
It was a storm outside, and
I'm drinking by myself. It's a storm.
there was golfers out there golfing. So I just cranked up a bunch of just obnoxious music.
I mean, why are you such a dick?
I am. I'm such a
Just
dick.
for no reason, just to try to enjoy their day and
And then I made a TikTok about what idiots they were.
I mean, what a dick.
just golfing.
You're a dick
It
talk.
was storming.
So let the motherfucker golf. He ain't bothering you.
No, when he gets hit by lightning, I'm going to have to be inconvenienced.
It's not your problem, and you'll have a great story for our podcast on a Friday.
There's going to be
So-
an ambulance going through my yard.
So I'm
watching this guy golf and he gets struck by lightning, Kev.
And keep in mind, too, now, it was the Amish guy who had an attitude problem, Kev. It wasn't
Right.
me.
That bowl cut fucker was mean. He was. He had a sassy attitude. You ask anybody who deals with the Amish, they're sassy and they look
That's
down.
all I ever hear in my life is what big dicks the Amish are.
Kevin.
That's all I've ever
When
heard.
we were at the Crazy Horse, 5 Nationers said, man, the Amish people are just dicks.
Fuck the Amish.
Hey, the Amish, yeah, fuck them guys. That's all I ever hear.
What are they going to do? Come get me? They're not listening.
Right. Good luck catching me in your horse and buggy.
It is full on sass. It's an
Yeah.
all out attack against the Amish.
Fuck the Amish.
Those are Virginia's words, by the way.
Yeah, bring it, Ezekiel.
They're not listening.
Do you get in trouble for making fun of the Amish?
They never find out about it. What are they going to do?
I've never been challenged by an Amish.
Do you get called into a meeting, Virginia? The heat with the Amish is getting too hot. You got to make a public apology.
Could you imagine, like, we go to leave one day and there's like 8 Amish sitting in our lobby?
I would love that.
I would shit myself.
I know you would. She's so soft, man. She would fucking buckle if there were 2 Amish men outside. She, oh shit, Kevin! Oh no.
Okay,
Kev, you go talk to him.
I did it now.
Yeah. Oh boy, I really did us in now, Kev.
There you go. They say, according to Travel and Leisure, there are 2 South Florida hotels that made the top 100 in the world. El Mundo.
In the world?
In the entire world. Nobu in Miami Beach.
Ooh.
Number 81
Okay.
on the list. I believe you've been to Nobu, Virginia?
I have been to Nobu. It's delicious. It's sushi. It's very expensive.
So if you wanted to get a plate full of, let's say a 12-pack of, I don't know, beluga, what's that going to cost you at a place like that?
Beluga caviar.
Yeah.
I don't think you're even allowed to buy it anymore because it's so controlled, but you're talking about tens
Yeah.
of thousands.
I mean, that's fucking bullshit.
The caviar at Nobu? Oh, shit. You better back up the money
Well,
truck.
let's say if you weren't caring about the cost, what could be dinner for 2 at Nobu?
Yeah,
Could you easily go over $3,000?
If I was going on
Oh.
a fancy date and I knew she was going to love all this shit, what would be my bill? We're having drinks.
At Nobu, 2 people, you could still do it for $500.
But you get a half of a sushi roll and some ice chips.
Nobu is expensive.
Okay. The other place that made the top 100, the Little Palm Island Resort and Spa. It's on Little Torch Key. It's at number 94 on the list of the top 100 best hotels in the world. It's an adults-only resort on a private island in the Florida Keys. It's only accessible by boat or seaplane.
Oh, you're real VIP fancy.
And it's got 30 water view bungalows, no TVs.
Wow.
There's not a
Okay.
TV on the island.
I like it.
The whole point is like, you're not coming here and fucking watching TV.
I love it. I think it's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's kind of a cool little thing, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, it's like all the way by like Big Pine Key.
Okay.
But it's before you get to Key West. It's like in the middle of your drive, like in between like Isla Mirada and Key West.
Okay.
Oh, fancy.
Not far from Marathon.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to look into that.
Yeah.
Anna's saying in the chat room it's like $1,300 a night.
What?
$1,300.
Can you just go over there and look
Damn.
around, or do you have to have a room?
I don't fucking know any kind of rule about any kind of fancy horse shit.
No rule about any of it.
No.
And I'm going to call it horse shit, just so it knows I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. I got a fun-sounding event down in Marathon Community Park, too, Saturday and Sunday. They're doing the Florida Keys Brew-BQ.
Oh, okay. That's fun. I like that.
Brew-BQs
The
that they're
cute
doing
name.
It is cute.
Yeah, that'd be a cool little event.
You know, like a little play on words.
Yeah, a little Brew-BQ. Yeah, so if you listen to us down there, you can go check that out. All right, well, lots to do this weekend. Hopefully you all have a good time. Thanks for being here this week. Make sure you go on and subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. We got to get those subscriptions up. And make sure you go follow us on TikTok as well. Thank you. We just crossed the 5,000 follower threshold there.
That little announcement I made earlier. Look, I'm refreshing it right now. We are now up on with TikTok. We are at 5,056.
Wow.
Okay, all right. That's awesome.
Made some progress today.
She's growing.
Yep, so go and follow. That's a free way for you to say thank you for what you get from the KVJ show. You guys have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.